Hi, my name is Natasha Nebula, and in this video, I'm back, baby! So, hi, as the opening sequence would have suggested, I am back. Yes. I am so glad to be returning, but I think I feel like I should, give you guys sort of like an explanation as to why I left for so long, because it's been literal years since my last video. And the last video that I uploaded was several years from that take. Well, before I go into that, I wanted to introduce those who may not know me. My name is Natasha. In previous videos, I've used the last name Sakurai. In newer videos, you might hear me use the last name Nebula with 2 L's, by the way. It's not that I'm going to be stepping away as much from using the surname Sakurai. I just wanted to do like what I call a fresh start, per se. But it's like some days I feel like I'm Natasha Sakurai, and some days I feel like I'm Natasha Nebula. So you might hear a video with me using either surname. Just know that I'm still Natasha no matter what. As my posters would suggest in the background, I am a huge anime and manga lover. You know, I've been into anime over half my life, officially since I was like 13 or 14. And it's just grown from there, from going to conventions and watching multiple different series and listening to the music and all of that. So, and as you can see, I got my little Love Live Sunshine anime shirt on. I'm just someone that is just so immersed in love with the culture that, it's a big part of my life as a hobby as well. So, I mean, before I get into, the newer, stuff that might be coming up in my videos and whatnot, I want to go into why I took my big leave from YouTube. And it goes something like this. For a lot of people that don't know me personally or that have come across me, know that I do have my struggles with mental health, and those include depression and anxiety for the main mental health compromises that I do experience in everyday life. And for the longest time, for like the last few years, it has really affected me in so many ways that it's like so much, where obviously that's why I wasn't filming anything, and I just didn't want to do it. Depression has a habit of weighing you down. It makes you feel okay some days, and other days I'm just not myself, And to reiterate on that, not feeling like myself, I don't want to transmit or send that kind of energy into my videos, because if I'm truly not feeling it, I'm not going to do it. And that's not fair to people that watch me. Like, yes, people have their good days and bad days. I mean, there are gonna be, videos where I might talk about something heavy, but I just felt like in the mental state that I was a few years ago, I just didn't feel right filming. And I'm glad that I took the break that I needed, even though I did miss filming, and the idea kept crossing my mind that maybe I would record something and post it, but it wasn't happening. And for that, I'm gonna talk about the next reason why I also stopped filming. And the big reason why is because I was worried about my weight. I know that I'm not the same size that I was, and in other videos, like the first videos that I posted, I was a lot smaller back then. Before I started taking medications that caused weight gain and all of that stuff, like increased appetite and whatnot. I was smaller, at that time when I was at my heaviest, I was like 213 pounds. Like, part of me, I felt so ashamed. And I guess you know, I'm not afraid to admit that I had insecurities about my body where I felt like I didn't want to show people that. I felt ashamed of how I looked. And like, as of the last year or two, I finally realized that I'm me and that's all I need to be. And part of my weight gain also came because I do have PCOS, and that is polycystic ovary syndrome. It's, I am going to, you know, go into that another time, but it can cause it plays a part in being insulin resistant and weight gain. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that I wanted to take care of myself before I just took the plunge and came back. Aside from being ashamed, it's like there was a whole bunch of different thoughts that I was having, and these whole flight of ideas that no one's gonna want to look at me. People are just gonna say nasty things, and you know, I've learned to accept that, you know, people are going to be cruel no matter what, even if I film or I don't film. So I've just learned to think, you know, fuck them. I need to do what's best for me. I need to stop caring what people think. My weight is not their concern. And, you know, I'm taking care of myself better. And I'm going to do what's right for my health, not for their benefit. So if there's anyone out there that struggles with PCOS, you know, weight gain, insulin resistance, I completely understand. It's frustrating on some days. Like sometimes with PCOS, like you get facial hair, you get, you know, not just weight gain, but it affects your self-esteem, you know, getting hair, like even not just on your face and other parts of your body, like you constantly have to wax and shave. And it's also, you feel like you can look good. I mean, but you know, you're going to carry the thought that maybe, you know, who's going to love me like this? And why did it have to happen to me? Honestly, I have reason to believe that maybe they might not know how it's caused, or, you know, it has to do with your ovaries and whatnot. And it sucks, but you just learn how to manage and get by. But since then, I have lost weight. I have lost about 10 to 15 pounds, and it made me feel better because, you know, my clothes, they fit again. I mean, there are still some things that I have to buy, you know, in bigger sizes, but I was generally someone that liked buying clothes bigger sizes anyway. But there was a point in 2019, before I even knew I had PCOS, where I would just obsess about my weight, like thinking I need to stop eating, I need to stop doing this, I need to stop doing that, I can't look like this, people are gonna say stuff. And it's just got to the point where I was just looking at the scale every single day. I was feeling ashamed of myself. Like I could tell that my clothes were tighter, you know. I was like, are people at work noticing my weight gain? And I mean, you know, I was just looking very thick. And maybe some of these thoughts were coming from a place of, you know, what you would call fat phobia or societal expectations of being thin. But I generally just felt like I was just more comfortable when I was at least, you know, 189 or 175. But even then I started noticing my body was changing with all of this weight gain and stuff. And it didn't make me feel good either. Some days I would feel even more tired than usual. I would feel sick because I keep eating so much, you know, pretty much binge eating because I never felt full. But mind you, I was on all of these different medications to try to feel normal. You know, it's like when you can't catch a break, like, oh, you're depressed, you got to take depression medication. Well, the depression medication is causing me to gain weight, and I need to sleep at night because I also have insomnia. And it's just like, come on, man. Like, can I catch a fucking break, please? Anyways, eventually I had to learn to love and accept myself. It's still a journey that I am still on as we speak, but I feel a lot better about myself. You know, I don't have to feel like a prisoner in my own body. I don't have to worry about what people think, you know, because it's like no matter what size I was, I still looked beautiful. And I wish I could have saw that at the time. You know, sometimes I wish I could go back in time and just tell my old self to stop pushing yourself so hard. Stop doing this, stop doing that. But I'm here now as a 29-year-old, and I'm going to be 30 soon, and I've just learned so much to just fucking and live life. Enjoy it, because not many people get to see 29 or 30 for that matter. Some people, they just aren't awarded the things that a lot of people take for granted. And that's not to say that your feelings are invalid or that people have it worse. But I wish I would have loved myself more, because maybe then if I had the courage to love myself more back then, I would have filmed more and just said fuck it at the time. But now that I've gotten the help that I need, I've seen doctors who were willing to listen to me, because I was having that problem where I felt like my medical needs were not being met. And now I'm on the right medications that are helping me subside some of these common issues. And I feel like I feel better, but also there was a point where I wasn't taking my depression and anxiety medication properly. And with some of those medications, they burn out of your system very quick. So you end up experiencing, you know, withdrawal symptoms. And I was, because again, prescription medications, they're drugs. They are drugs. They make your body feel things. And while, you know, people will have their reservations and opinions, sometimes you have to learn what works for you. And I found the medications that work for me, but I have to take them properly or I'm not going to feel good, you know? So, you know, the last year or so or several months that I've been taking my medications better, I've been on it, and I've actually feel great. I feel like I'm me again, and I feel like I can just keep going. And that's what I'm just so glad that I'm back to, you know, tell you guys, you know, those, you know, areas of my journey. I don't want to feel like I'm just giving you excuses like, oh, she was just fat and sad, so whatever. But these were what I was experiencing from my own point of view. I'm not trying to tell anyone how they should feel regarding their bodies necessarily. I'm just sharing how things made me feel, and maybe someone might relate to my journey. Because, you know, sometimes you talk to someone and there are people out there that are like, well, I don't want to hear a relatable story while I'm trying to tell you about myself. But I'm actually someone that prefers hearing something relatable about someone because it makes me feel less alone. So, yeah, those are just a few things. But I am feeling better. As I said before, I'm feeling good. And I feel like my mind is in a much better place. And I'm very happy and looking forward to doing more videos. But before that, of course, I want to share, you know, what I was able to accomplish in my absence. Because while you may have known that while I had my struggles, I still accomplished quite a bit of things. I graduated from Henry Ford College in 2018, getting my associates. I graduated from Wayne State in 2020, you know, through the pandemic at the heat of it. Sorry, I had like a thought just now. But I got my bachelor's in English with a minor in theater, yay. So yeah, I accomplished that. And then from 2021 to 2022, I was going to school and I finished nursing school. And as of January of this year, I got my licensed practical nurse license. So I am an LPN, as in I am a practicing nurse, right? I mean, I did all of these things while I was dealing with all of these struggles. You know, just because I was dealing with those things was not going to stop me from getting my education. Like, I refuse to let myself give up on my education. I hate I gave up on YouTube like I did and didn't, you know, keep filming these adventures, because I really do wish I would have filmed these adventures and, you know, what I dealt with, but it just makes for a stronger return, in my opinion, because not many people get to where I get to be. And, you know, I mean, it's okay if college isn't for you, or you're just not okay, or you want to do something that isn't just this grand, spectacular thing. It's okay to just have a day where you just literally get out of bed, because I know I've had several of those. And I mean, there are days where I just did not want to get out of bed, but do you think bills are going to stop because you don't want to get up? No, because then I'll stay in bed and then my apartment will go dark, or I won't have internet. So yeah, the bills just keep coming whenever they feel like it. But I also wanted to, you know, show you some little key differences, because the last time we were together, you know, I had a upper lip ring somewhere. Yeah, I had it over here. See, that's gone. Don't have a tongue ring anymore. I also took out other piercings that are not around anymore as well. And I mean, I've tried wearing earrings. I'm still trying to get into wearing earrings, but I just took them out because I don't feel like maintaining them anymore. You know, I chipped at least 2 or 3 teeth with my tongue ring alone. And while a tongue ring can be a really cool and awesome thing, you can fuck your teeth up if you're not careful. But I kept my nose ring. That is staying. It's probably the least thing that I have to worry about on my face. So it's just someone you might want to consider, or something you might want to consider if you are interested in getting piercings. Just be careful that you don't chip your fucking teeth. And I'm lucky I didn't chip my front teeth, or I'd be screwed. So, let's see. Yep, changed my hair. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything. So I have like a nice little note helper right here. Yeah, changed my hair. Also, Hannah is still around. I have all 3 of my cats still. Mandy being the oldest. She's 16 now. Hannah is 10 now. Like, can you believe it? And Dee Dee is about to be 10-ish. She was always like 6 to 8 months younger than Hannah. So she's about to reach the big 10 as well. So yeah, we got the kitties. Hannah will be making her special appearances and whatnot, and cameos in my videos. Oh my gosh, I love that girl. But yes, she's still around. And I also want to talk about mainly why I'm sort of rebranding as Natasha Nebula. You know, there are concerns, and I didn't want to ignore any concerns about, you know, the last name Sakurai, because I do recognize that, you know, the original way that I had it spelled is a Japanese surname. But I just don't want to come off as someone that is, insincere and inconsiderate, which is why I sort of, you know, on certain days I do use it. That name has, like the last name, has always been something that I have paid as a homage to anime, because I still believe that anime is one of many reasons I'm still here today, you know, as in alive. So some days I might be like, well, I'm Natasha Sakurai, and then there's other days where I'm Natasha Nebula. But I feel like the last name Nebula, it sounds more catchier when used with Natasha, you know, Natty Nebula. It just sounds catchier. And, you know, for someone that loves like outer space and whatnot, I just felt like it was like the perfect kind of name that you use like for someone that likes outer space. And I always claim like, oh, I'm such a space babe and all of this. Well, Nebula, I spelled it with 2 L's, but some stuff it has 1 L. It's just, if you run into that confusion, just let me know. Well, I don't know, I just felt like I needed to address that, because I'm just someone that I'm not afraid to you know, address things, and I'm not gonna just avoid conflict if there were to be any. But at the same time, I also, with the last name Sakurai, I changed like the last few letters of it as well. You know, with R-Y-E, you know, like the bread. So I don't know. I just feel like sometimes Natasha Sakurai, it just sounds like more like it's me. And then there are days where, you know, when I'm Natasha Nebula, I feel like that's like my branding side. And Natasha Sakurai is more like just my regular life last name, you know, like the last name I would have instead of, you know, my legal last name, which is Hawkins.